For thousands of years, humans have told stories about strange and mysterious creatures. Unicorns, dragons, sea monsters, and giants appear in legends across every culture on Earth. But what if some of these creatures were not just myths? What if the stories were inspired by animals that actually existed? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you may see these legends in a completely different way. Let's begin. Number 7. Unicorns. When most people hear the word unicorn, they imagine a magical horse with a shining horn from fairy tales. But the idea of a one-horned creature didn't come from imagination alone. Thousands of years ago, people living in the Indus Valley carved images of a mysterious one-horned animal onto small stone seals. For centuries, historians believed it was just a mythical symbol, but science tells a different story. During the Ice Age, a massive animal known as Elasmotherium roamed the Earth. It looked like a giant rhinoceros, but with a single enormous horn rising from its forehead. Some scientists believe that horn could grow nearly as tall as a human. Imagine early humans encountering a creature like that. It was powerful, enormous, and one of the largest animals humans ever hunted. Eventually, a combination of climate change and human hunting drove this incredible animal to extinction. So maybe unicorns were not magical horses at all. Maybe they were something even more incredible, a real creature we wiped out thousands of years ago. Number 6. Dwarves. Dwarves have appeared in myths and legends for over 1,000 years. In stories, they are small, mysterious beings living deep inside mountains. But what if these legends were inspired by real humans? Around 50,000 years ago, a tiny species of human lived on the Indonesian island of Flores. Scientists call them Homo florensis. They were incredibly small, standing barely 4 feet tall. Because of their size, researchers nicknamed them hobbits. Life on the island was dangerous. They had to survive alongside giant predators, including massive Komodo dragons. But their small size wasn't a mistake. It was actually an evolutionary strategy. Over thousands of years, the isolation of the island caused larger human ancestors to shrink in size. Scientists call this process insular dwarfism. In other words, dwarves may not have been mythical creatures at all. They may have been a forgotten branch of humanity. Number 5. Yeti and Bigfoot. Across the world, people have reported sightings of mysterious hairy creatures walking on 2 legs. In the Himalayas, locals call it the Yeti. In North America, people know it as Bigfoot. In 1951, climbers exploring Mount Everest discovered enormous footprints in the snow. Many believed they belonged to the legendary Yeti, but decades later, DNA testing revealed the prints likely came from a rare Himalayan bear. So, was the Yeti just a misidentified animal or something else? The mystery only deepened in 1967 when a famous film appeared to show Bigfoot walking through a forest. For years, critics claimed the creature was simply a man in a costume. But when researchers analyzed the footage again in 2022 using modern 4K technology, something surprising happened. The body proportions and movement patterns didn't match any known human suit design. And here's something even stranger. Millions of years ago, an unusual primate called Oreopithecus walked upright. It was small, strange-looking, and moved in a way surprisingly similar to humans. Could ancient creatures like this have inspired the stories we still tell today? Number 4. The Loch Ness Monster. For centuries, people living in Scotland have reported sightings of a mysterious creature in Loch Ness. Witnesses describe a long neck rising from the water, attached to a massive body moving beneath the surface. Despite decades of sonar scans and underwater searches, no solid evidence has ever been found. Most scientists believe the sightings are simply hoaxes, waves, or misidentified animals. But something very similar did exist millions of years ago, a marine reptile called Plesiosaurus. With a long neck, powerful flippers, and a body built for swimming, it dominated the oceans for more than 150 million years. Eventually, it disappeared in the same mass extinction event that killed the dinosaurs. So, if the Plesiosaurus vanished millions of years ago, why have people claimed to see something like it in Loch Ness for over 1,500 years? One explanation is surprisingly simple. Ancient fossil discoveries may have inspired the legend. Someone may have found the bones of a long-necked sea creature, and the story grew from there. Number 3. Giant serpents. Across cultures, ancient stories speak of enormous snakes. From the Roman serpent Jormungand to the Hindu myth of Vasuki, giant serpents appear in legends around the world. But these stories may have been inspired by real things. Scientists have discovered fossils of an enormous prehistoric snake called Titanoboa. It lived in South America around 60 million years ago and could grow longer than a city bus. Even more recently, researchers discovered another giant snake species in India called Vasuki indicus. At nearly 50 feet long, it may have been one of the largest snakes to ever exist. Titanoboa crushed its prey with incredible strength, dominating ancient swamps as one of the most terrifying predators on Earth. These weren't mythical monsters, they were real animals that once ruled the planet. Number 2. Dragons. Dragons appear in legends all over the world. In Asia, they are powerful serpents that control the rain and the skies. In Europe, they are winged beasts that breathe fire. Many historians believe these stories began when ancient people discovered massive fossil bones. But there may have been even more impressive inspiration, a gigantic flying reptile called Quetzalcoatlus. This creature stood as tall as a giraffe and had wings wider than a school bus. Instead of flapping constantly like birds, it likely launched itself into the air and glided across enormous distances. Some scientists believe it even hunted on land, using its long beak to snatch small dinosaurs. Like many prehistoric animals, it disappeared when the asteroid struck Earth 66 million years ago. But perhaps its memory survived in the form of dragon legends. Number 1. Cthulhu. In 1928, writer H.P. Lovecraft created a terrifying sea monster called Cthulhu, a massive creature sleeping in the depths of the ocean. But long before this story was written, real monsters ruled the deep sea. One of them was Tusotethis, a gigantic squid-like predator that could reach over 40 feet in length. It was faster and stronger than modern squid and hunted enormous fish and marine reptiles. Like many prehistoric creatures, it vanished during the mass extinction event 66 million years ago. But here's something that makes the ocean even more mysterious. Humans have explored less than 5% of the deep sea, which means most of the ocean remains completely unknown. So if monsters like Tusotethis existed before, what else might still be hiding in the darkness?